Hello everyone, and after nearly 3 months, the Brawlforming patch is finally here to pretty much destroy every single issue that the game has ever had. For example, loading times are pretty much non-existent right now. So you know this level called Move Clouds, which by the way is supposed to be called this sum, but for some reason I upload as Move Clouds. Yeah, and you know how long it takes to load? Not anymore. Not anymore. Why was it taking so long, you may ask? It was just casually eating up 600 megs of memory. It no longer does that. Also, the game stutters a bit less now. And due to these fewer stutters, you should get significantly fewer crashes because the crashes are being triggered by the anti-cheat that we have so that people cannot speed up their game. And this could especially happen during loading where it took like 8 years between every single update of the percentage. Yeah, that pretty much just destroyed that check. And speaking of loading, it shouldn't be possible to get stuck anywhere in the loading process. And even if it does happen, like in the simulated scenario, there's no way to escape it. So you cannot get stuff locked on the loading screen anymore. Okay, cool. You're in a game now and you have finished. Well, if you're on a controller, you'll find that the movement no longer feels like your control stick is restricted to the pad or whatever. It actually properly works now. But let's forget about that one controller user out there. Let's actually focus on the epic keyboard mouse users because you can now click on a player and spectate them that way. It can be a bit jank depending on your connection, but it's better than having to follow the player yourself. And for Linux users, you can finally play the game on a minimum of Ubuntu 18.04. This means the game still works on Arch, by the way, and probably Fedora. I didn't test that, but it should probably work. But what's going to hit that, again, one user out there, but this time unironically one user. In fact, probably zero users. The game is no longer 32-bit, it is 64-bit now, so you don't have to mess with 32-bit libraries on Linux. And there are also a few UI changes and fixes. For example, you could scroll down and you wouldn't be able to click on these tabs. And now you also get this cool little preview for your player when you're changing its colors. Okay, the general player base has got their changes. Let's focus on level creation now. You cannot choose which kind of items can even appear in your level. So for example, if you have this pillar and you don't want people bypassing it but using teleport, you can simply just go and disable it. You can also use this to design a level around spamming a specific kind of item. For example, you can create challenges like this that just revolve around repeatedly teleporting around. Oh yeah, and that yellow black block, that is a new block that you cannot respawn on. So normally, if you fall off the stage, you respawn on the last block that you stood on. Including if you jump over blocks and you want to respawn on those blocks because you last stood on that one. Well, with this, you can essentially make certain sections of your level not be checkpoints. So you can force people to do this entire challenge in one go, instead of simply being able to redo it from the last point. Additionally, the game has been limited to a 16 by 9 aspect ratio now, so you no longer have to deal with the fact that people can set the game to be any wide, and you no longer have to fill up the space or put some funny text in there anymore. Oh, and of course, it should be actually possible to upload the levels now because we fixed the server side issue, which, yeah, you can go blame Microsoft for that. Not even kidding. What the hell? It's like we were requesting a specific amount of bytes and we got a few amount of bytes and we were expecting it to. Yeah, it's well, just don't question it, okay? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, the reason that Warfarming hasn't received an update is that there are specific things that are tied to QCat. And guess what? QCat was just being rewritten. And in fact, we couldn't even implement these features without QCat being rewritten. So, yeah, I had to pretty much just rewrite QCat first. I mean, it was already going on, so it only took like 2 more months and bit of suffering from school, you know, as usual, and now I'm suffering with my family, yay. But now that QCAT is out, we have managed to add an integration so you can easily get supporter now. So if you have supporter, you can pretty much just go DM QCAT supporter code and you get this code, you paste it into the game. There you go, you're supporter now. And because the game is so well coded, you have to relog. But as you can see, you get 3 additional stat points for being supporter 2, as well as the ability of supporter getting an extra level of customization in their colors. So you can change 2 different colors on your body parts and stuff. Right? We also have a filter to make sure people don't use offensive language in chat or inappropriate names for usernames. Oh, that's it for supporters. Yeah, our supporters, Count Homer, who is generously giving me $5 a month. Thank you, Count Homer. And Top Love, who got supported by finding 3 bugs this time around while testing the game. That is significantly better than the 0 bug reports I got last time when I sent out a build to everyone to check out. And it pretty much just resulted in the game being literally unusable on launch. But anyway, you two epic people will now be able to download a work-in-progress Android port of Brawlforming. Yes, mobile Brawlforming is happening. So you no longer have to be tied to your PC. You can just, oh, but PC master race! Yeah, but what if you actually go outside? Like, you have a phone with you, but you don't bring your entire gaming setup, right? So those kind of people, for example me, can now play Brawlforming on the go. And it's not like this is an exclusive thing for supporters very much all the way, it's just early access to something that might be a bit broken now, although the gameplay experience is pretty much just on point. I even managed to beat Yoshi Element here by using touch controls. Pog. And that's pretty much it. Enjoy being able to actually play Brawlforming without the weird issues that I previously had.